We are here. We're finally here.
Okay, audio guy. Are the mics working now?
How are the mics?
Yeah? Okay, brilliant. So, hello.
Hello. Make
Hello,
sure
hello.
they can... Hello, test.
Is that alright? Okay, brilliant.
I think that's good.
This is cool.
We're here.
So we're finally doing this.
How long do you think we've been thinking about doing this for?
I mean, I thought about it ages ago. I didn't really put more thought into it.
It was
And
kind of
then
like a passing...
You were like, let's just do it.
Yeah, then we were like, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
You're doing it. I think we're good with that. We just, when we want to do things, we're just like...
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. But sometimes I feel like we're not. Sometimes we just do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is not about us. This is about Charlie.
This is about Charlie. This is our guest today. Well, actually, he is our guest today.
Yeah.
But from now on, he will also be part of the podcast.
He is another co-host to the podcast.
Yeah.
But we thought it was definitely applicable to have him as our first guest.
Yeah.
I mean, he's my brother. He's your boss.
He's my boss
He's
and
also,
best friend.
And best friend, sorry, yeah. He's my business partner.
Yeah.
In fact, he owns a little bit more percentage than me in the company.
Okay.
So I mean, we'll get into that.
We'll
so
get
he's
into
actually
all that.
my boss.
Oh,
Technically,
yeah, he actually
he's
is.
my boss because he's the CEO of the Pizza Post. So technically, he's my boss.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we bring him on. He's 20 years old.
20 years old. Okay, he owns £1 million company.
Which is a true evaluation.
Yeah, it's not some shit evaluation. It is literally £1 million company.
Just over.
Let's just get him on.
Let's just get him on.
Charlie. Here he is.
Come.
Bit of a clap. How you doing?
Thank you for
Bit of a handshake. Thanks for coming.
Cheers, Jeff.
I'd handshake you. That's a bit weird. He's my brother.
Wow. So it's a very new thing.
Yeah.
I think we'll just talk. I have some questions.
Cool.
What we're gonna do is obviously me and Charlie and you. I've known Charlie since I was a little kid, so I do know a lot of things.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some things I'm going to ask that I want to know.
Yeah.
But most of the questions I'm going to ask like I don't know because obviously I want the viewers to learn more about him, what he's done.
I think you guys are going to be interested in what he has to say. And I'm also have questions, but you're going to ask them.
Yeah.
And I think it's all about us learning.
Yeah, it totally is. It totally
Let's
is.
pick Charlie's brain. I mean, his brain is very different to ours.
He is. And we'll
Very
go into that.
different.
We'll go into that.
Yeah, we'll go into that.
Well,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
So, I mean, first question is, who are you? Why are you here?
I don't know.
Sounds like a philosophical bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get out. No, so you're here.
Yeah.
Obviously, you own a catering company with your brother.
Yeah.
You are the CEO.
Yeah.
You're 20 years old.
That's correct.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
It is a pretty big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, I guess.
20 years old. Yeah.
I mean, I know you don't boast about it, but I boast to
For
people
him.
that...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my mate. Do you know
My
what I
mate
mean?
owns a business.
Yeah. So just tell me,
Right.
so Harry said, I mean, I think you already mentioned, it's a catering company.
Yeah. Yes. So we do pizza.
So you do pizza.
Yeah.
Okay. And so like, first of all, why did you pick that industry? How did it all start? Why did you pick that?
Okay, so
Why did we pick it?
why did we pick that? It's a great question.
Yeah.
There was no, in honesty, there was no like
Mad
planning behind why we picked pizza.
Right.
It was COVID, so I'll bring you back 2020.
Don't bring me back.
2020, around May, me and Harry, we still had our job and COVID had just happened. And we'd always talked about owning a business one day.
Right.
I mean, ever since I've been a kid, I've
Wanted a business.
I've really wanted a business. Didn't matter what it was. I just wanted a business.
Okay.
And so COVID hit, and it was like, like everything just changed all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like everything that we known to be like, okay, our work schedules are, things that
What we can and can't do.
And then so all going on. Anyway, all of that stuff happened, and so it was good. It was good timing in a way that we were like, okay, let's use this time to figure out what the we're gonna do.
Right. You have more time than.
Yeah, like definitely had more time. So
Yeah.
if it was anything, that was the time where it was like, you
Yeah.
have no excuse now to like not start thinking of something
Okay.
new.
Yeah, it was like this is the best time actually.
Yeah.
and then some people could say, you know, you literally started in the catering industry at the peak of COVID, where it was like
summer.
everyone was locked inside.
Yes.
No events. Socially distanced, even if you went to meet your nan.
You weren't allowed. The rules then was, if you met, you weren't allowed to meet outside, and the only thing that was allowed was like certain businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
Like construction businesses were allowed to work.
So you literally bought a company, and how that company makes money is for people to get together.
Yeah.
And you bought a company when people could not do that.
Yeah, that's correct.
Why on earth did you do that?
Any business you're gonna do, is gonna be tough when you start it. Like, if it's a startup, or if you're taking something on, or you're doing something that's, you know, evolve, you know, it's around other people and people. You know, any business that you're gonna start is gonna be very tough at the beginning.
Right.
Just because you're learning, like it's really a learning experience. So unless you've already done it, it's going to be tough because you're learning new things. So in my head was like, you know, it's going to be tough either way. But I just felt like, you know, like I don't know if I can swear on this podcast, but
yeah, I think
we'll censor it out.
Okay. Anyway,
YouTube or
yeah.
But I was just like, okay, let's just go with it. But also, okay, keep in mind, Harry just kept pushing me on it. Actually, like, I was not gonna lie, I was a bit hesitant.
Yeah.
But then Harry was like, no, yeah, let's start a business, and he starts. This is what really got me thinking. Was he started researching, like, painting companies, gutter repair companies, and in my head I was like, I knew I was going to start a business at the end of this somehow, and I really didn't want a painting or
yeah, no, well, I worked out that there wasn't much. I mean, the businesses that I was looking at, I worked out the profit and loss, and then I got to the point where I was like,
yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I already saw that, like, to a degree.
You see, that's the difference, right?
Yeah.
So, and how did you see it?
Like
how would you see that without working out the profit and loss? No, it's not a trick question. Just like, what came to mind that you were like, that's not going to work?
Just because it was like, it's my first business. Why would I start something? You know, I'm already going to have to learn everything about financing, about management, about, you know, all this other stuff. Why would my product be something I have no clue about? Like, if it was like, if it's going to be my first time doing a business, I was like, we're probably going to have a head start if we do something we're vaguely familiar with.
So you are familiar with catering?
Yeah.
Massively. I mean, our parents have been in the catering industry majority of their life,
right?
And I had experience in catering when I was, like, you know, young, doing random bits and bobs. I think it's also a very easy job to get when you're young. You know, you can go be a waitress, waiter.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Okay, so fine. So you've had a history in catering, but what made you go? You know,
I mean, my history would have been like a year or two because I was only
right. Okay, fine. So what made you decide pizza van?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And actually, before you answer that, was it a brand new company, or did you buy it while the company was failed? Like, what? How did you go about it, or what was it before?
So the company before was established in 2016.
Okay.
It was run by friends of ours, and they gave me my first job when I was, basically my first job when I was 14. Got paid £4 an hour.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, at the time.
At the time, yeah, I guess you don't really mind.
No, at the time.
You're there to make the money to play your Xbox or something.
Yeah, I was also.
I was.
Yeah, I think I just wanted the experience to learn, because I always was wanting to have a company. So I loved it. At the end of the shift, I would see, like, how much money we made that day, and I would, like, do, like, calculations. Okay, then tomorrow and blah blah blah, and it was just fascinating. So
we wouldn't do that.
See, Bob. I'm playing Call of Duty.
Yeah. All right. It's 9 o'clock. I'm out.
Yeah.
But
I'm not
okay, so
catching
that excited you.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
seeing that stuff.
Yeah, because it was something I was like learning something that I knew I was gonna like need in life. Like, yeah, I think it's just important to basically just keep it learning, experiencing things that are gonna forward your mission in life. So even if I probably wouldn't have done it if I got paid nothing, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't actually go against advising someone just get a free job under someone who's successful.
Okay. So tell me. So you actually worked for the company you now own before when you were 14.
Yeah. So 14, it just started. I
Yeah.
worked for it for about 3 years, and then I moved on to sales with my brother in another company, which was also amazing. Learned lots about sales. Blah blah blah. I was always fascinated behind the scenes. Like I would always listen into like when a manager came in, or when when the ED walked, the CEO walked in. I would always listen in and like what they're saying, just because I was very interested. So it was all a learning experience. And then COVID hit. We were thinking about what business to start. And one day I was just driving home, and there was a hot dog van, like really randomly placed at the top of one of our streets. And I was like, I was literally just I remember I was sitting in the car with my mum. We just drove past, and she was talking to me, and I was looking at it. I was like, don't know what she was saying, because I just blocked it out, and I was just looking at it, and I was like, maybe a catering van might work.
So you were still thinking after, or was that before or after
No, this was while you were
doing the research?
of the other stuff.
Right.
I think, yeah, I'm just slightly different. I keep things in my head until I've come up,
Until you solved it.
until I solved it.
Okay. So all right. So you saw a hot dog van or whatever it was. Obviously, in that time, you guys were already looking for something to start, and then you saw that, you were like,
Yeah, I was like, that could work.
right.
And then
Why did you think it would work?
no idea. I think I just looked at it, and like I just was like, I could do that. Obviously, that was just the initial thought. I then did research and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But that was just my initial thing. I was like, okay, I've got some experience there. For whatever reason, I just saw it as like, that seems like a good idea. And then I went off, did lots of research about like, profit margins and types of events and like all that sort of stuff. And so that's what made that original thought more solid.
I think it's mad. Like, you're 20. I'm only 21. You're
23.
3. But a 20-year-old talking about profit margins and balance sheets and all this stuff, like, where has that all come from? Because I know for a fact, we all went to the same school, by the way. Yeah. I know for a fact that I didn't learn that.
No.
So where has that come from? Where can I...
Where can I learn that?
Yeah.
Where can I learn that?
Well, Joe, that's the point of the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, for me, I knew these. I didn't know what exact. I didn't know maybe a year ago exactly all that sort of stuff. I just knew that with experience of like running a business, I was going to run into problems, and once I ran into that problem or predicted it, like you don't just have to fail it to learn. You can also predict it. I can then solve the problems. But if the problem's not there, why solve it? Like if there's nothing you're trying to achieve, you're not really gonna solve problems, and so you're not really gonna learn.
Right.
So for me,
So you like learn on the way, and you're still learning, I'm guessing.
yeah, like 100%. Like, I'm still learning. I'm learning lots, and that's why I love it, because I just keep learning about business, and I have such a high interest in that. So it's like a vehicle for me to basically keep improving my knowledge. But obviously, I think it's important to really like understand what problem you're trying to solve.
Yeah.
Figure it out. As soon as you got it, good, move on. Just go on to the next thing, because you know.
Do you think like people hang up in problems too much?
Maybe. I think
Because I was thinking like in the business, that's probably got to be the biggest decision between someone continuing in business or not,
what?
Or starting.
or starting. It's like
What is
because people can like run into problems
right?
and then decide it's too big of a problem that they can't now handle that,
Right.
and then they kind of go like, I can't be asked.
Well, I was actually speaking to Charlie about this before. I think it was a couple of days ago. But what I've noticed with Charlie, that's different to a lot of people, is a problem will arise and they'll be very stressed out and they don't want the problem, whatever. Charlie's excited to have a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's kind of like a different mindset. It's like, great, there's a problem. Then now we solve it, it
Yeah.
won't happen again.
Yeah, we had that conversation actually. We said, I remember,
Yeah.
we were talking and we were like, the only reason you would not want to run into a problem is that you've not actually fully solved it. Because if a problem should come up, you should be able to solve it and it never come up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you haven't solved it correctly, what will happen?
Will
It will come up again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So like,
So are you confident enough that you feel like when you deal with those problems that, like, what do you do that then means you don't have the same problem again? Or have you run into the problem a few times?
I'm sure I ran into the same problem more than once. But when a problem does come up, and it does come up in like business, I do get excited. If it's like if
It's like such a foreign thing.
if it's no, the thing that makes me excited is when it comes up for the first time.
Okay, yeah, because it's something different.
If it keeps coming up,
Keeps you on your toes.
yeah. I mean, if it keeps coming up,
When someone's getting sacked.
yeah, I know either someone's not handling it correctly, so that it doesn't happen again,
Yeah.
or I have mishandled it and told someone else to handle it incorrectly, right? Like it's one or the other. It's otherwise, like, you know, the business is only worth $1 million, and there's businesses out there worth billions. So,
Yeah.
you know, any problems that we have, there's an answer to. That,
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay, fine. I like that. And the other question I had was, like, for me, I've had loads of ideas in the past that I know, if executed, would be amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sure everyone
Yeah,
has.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's like, there's a difference between having an idea and having an idea and then actually just executing the idea
Yeah.
or just going with it.
Yeah.
Like, what made you go, okay, food van, and then actually, like, do the work? Do you know what I mean?
Maybe tell the story about how you got the business.
Yeah, well, what I would say, it's like 1% like inspiration or like motivation, and the rest is just like doing the work. So yeah, like ideas are obviously.
Is that a fact? Should we fact?
We're not
I'm
gonna
saying
fact.
we're not.
We're not gonna fact check that.
That's
This
not
is
I'll
just like
get-
to make a disclaimer.
Yeah.
That is not a scientific fact.
I'll
It
get
has
like
not
one
been
of those-
proven.
Yeah.
So if any lawsuits come our way, we've given the disclaimer.
Yeah.
I'll get
Okay,
one of
so-
those Facebook like fact check.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
We'd like to interrupt this program to let you know that was not a fact.
Yeah, exactly.
what I mean is that if you've got an idea, you know, that's like obviously
Good.
good.
Nice
Sorry, I mean like
What could make a good idea and what's a bad idea? Is that, can we even say that? Because like
no, not really.
not really though, can you? Because most people, that's another thing. People like assuming.
An idea, like people come up with ideas all the time,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually really important to come up with ideas, but like in a machine, you've got all these components that will produce, like, let's say a phone,
Yeah.
right? Like you've got all these components, or in the factory, all these things that work together to produce a phone, right? Sure, someone had the idea of making the phone, but someone else had the brain power to put together all of those aspects to produce the phone. So, you can have lots of ideas, but either you're going to have to go and find someone who actually knows how to do it,
Yeah.
and you're just like this idea machine,
Yeah. An idea machine.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. An idea machine.
I'm one of those.
But I generally think we're not lacking ideas. We're just lacking people who can actually
Execution.
do the job.
All right, we're quoting that. We're not lacking ideas. We're lacking execution.
I like that.
That's
a
a
lot,
like
actually.
that.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
It is so true. I mean, like, the amount of times where I'm like, this idea is incredible.
Gonna
And
slap.
then the day after, I'm like,
Can't be out.
I just not
Yeah,
doing
I
that.
think I also
Like, what actually pushed you to go, actually, I'm going to put in loads of work? Because I'm assuming you bought the company
yeah
off your friend or whoever it was.
yeah
Obviously, it wasn't doing too great,
no
right? But like, so what made you go, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to invest all my time, all the money I have? Because I'm sure during COVID, when you bought it, you weren't making
No, so
much
maybe you
money
should
or
talk
any
about
money.
that. You should talk
Yeah,
about that because
okay.
I think that's quite a good thing to talk about because I think other people can do stuff like that.
Yeah.
yeah okay fine. So when I bought the company, so in case anyone is thinking of starting a company or anything like that, and you're like, okay, maybe I'm not at the right time to do it,
Or I don't have enough money.
but I don't have enough money. Yeah, there's always ways that you can get around those things. And so how I, at the time I was working a job, basically getting paid £10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is something I still do. I volunteer 40 hours a week for my local church, and that's Monday to Friday, 9 till 6. So all the other work that I was doing, the £10 an hour, was all just like weekends stuff.
Wait, so you're telling me you bought a company, set it up, now it's worth over $1 million, and you didn't even work on it during the day?
No.
No, we
So you
did.
literally did evenings and weekends, the rest of the day
Early
you're volunteering for your church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need to get my act together.
Yeah. So that's true. But so at the time when I bought the company, I also didn't have any money to buy the company.
Yeah, and I didn't.
So how did you do that?
Yeah. So I basically I knew I wanted the company.
Yeah.
I spoke to the person who was thinking of selling it.
Mm-hmm.
I made it known.
Yeah, I wasn't even part of this bit. So I'm actually interested to know. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
cut
Like,
you.
we want to know
Yeah.
how you did it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, right. So I spoke to him,
Yeah.
the person who wanted to sell it,
Yeah.
and he obviously wanted to get rid of it because it was COVID as well.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So it wasn't doing well for him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many people out there like, oh my God, I feel like if you picked up the phones a bit and you called some like...
I mean, because COVID is still a thing.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, loads of companies shut down during COVID.
You could buy a failing business for peanuts and
Yeah.
and just put your time and sweat equity into it and
Yeah.
make it into something. Anyway,
Sweat equity.
I didn't buy it for peanuts. It was we bought 2 vans fully kitted out.
Mm-hmm.
There was only a couple events booked in and lots of them
10.
cancelled.
I think it was 10 events that we had booked in, and then 3 cancelled. I remember 'cause I was on
Yeah.
it. It was like 3 cancelled.
And some of them for like 2022. We're probably still delivering them now.
Yeah, it was
Like-
like 1 or 2 because they're like rescheduled again and then again and then.
It was nothing that was gonna make us money.
No,
Anyway,
no, it's definitely not. Like in the immediate future, none of that was, you could say, like even included in our pockets.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we couldn't even count on that because there was no events.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I did, I went and spoke to him. I was like, "Listen, mate, are you looking at selling?" He was like, "Yeah, I've been thinking about it, blah blah blah." I was like, "Great, I want it." Like,
He's like, show me the money. And you're like,
I don't have it.
about that one.
So this
Yeah,
is
and
things get interesting.
And he was like, "Okay, it's worth X amount," and it wasn't cheap. I was like, "Okay, I don't have that." Right. And he was just like, "Okay." And I think I was just very much like, I want it, I'll figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
and we just came to I proposed the idea of basically taking it on as a loan and paying it off over 3 years.
Yeah,
So you take on the business,
like a loan, just
you do the work.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I took on a loan of basically X amount for the
Yeah.
business, with an interest on it, and paid, and had to be fully paid off in 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. So if I owed him all that money within 3 years, and there was a contract, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then we got
Sign.
So
got
basically,
business.
the benefit for him was, okay, good. No more stress to do with the business.
Yeah.
He's getting a monthly figure
Yeah.
plus interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you guys fail, it
It's our
doesn't matter
fault.
because you still owe him the money.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
So for him, I think he liked that idea because it was just sitting there, wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
It's a win. I mean, you take
a
stress
win-win.
off someone and you,
They've got money in their pocket every month.
every
Yeah.
month.
So win-win situation.
And for us, win-win.
Yeah.
Because was getting involved in a company with no down payment.
With no down payment. Yeah. It was a
The
win.
only down payment is the time and making sure it succeeds because we had to.
Yeah. I
Stop.
mean,
Right.
my pants,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, we'll cut that out, don't worry.
okay. I mean, I was still like thinking, okay, I had just done enough research to trust myself. That, you know, I was going to somehow make it go right. Like, I didn't really have another, you know, there wasn't like a massive game plan. I didn't have loads of connections that would bail me out if it, like, I knew I was going to be able to make it go right somehow. And so basically I took it on. I was still working my weekend job when I actually bought the company
Right.
because it was COVID, and I was like,
So you basically work 3 jobs, volunteering all day from Monday to Friday.
yeah,
You had a weekend job. You've just bought a company, which then you would work evenings.
yeah,
So you're probably doing over 100 hours.
yeah. It was,
Yeah, it was quite tough those first 6 months.
yeah, the first 6 months were tough.
Yeah.
You know, we
I
were
mean,
doing,
still hadn't made any money.
we weren't making any money really. We were, if anything, going into debt. We were working 100-hour weeks.
Yeah.
50 of those hours was volunteer, and that was something that we would never, you know, change because if I had to leave that due to my business, I personally would have felt like I failed because the whole point wasn't to leave my volunteering because that's my contribution to people. I like to help people. So if I had to stop doing that just so that I could make myself money, that for me, that was not an option.
You basically were like, how do I do it all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Make loads of money
Help people.
and help loads of people.
Sounds like a nice
Nice mixture.
mixture.
Yeah, I think that was also partly the reason why I had a strong motivation. Was because I had a strong reason to do it. And so when we were failing, or not making so much money at the beginning, I just had me and Harry just had a very strong desire to just push through and make sure that it works.
Yeah. Yeah, because just to let you guys know, I do sales for them. I'm the sales manager. But before, when they just bought the company, where we were allowed to do... So I did several hours of like actually being in the van when it was pitched up.
That's right.
Because right
at the beginning.
we do private events. So, you know, we do parties, weddings and all that. And
That's
when
right.
COVID was happening, you could have a pitch because someone could come
Yeah,
get
that's
pizza.
that's
and
food.
guess
Yeah,
it.
because it counts as takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
And I was literally, I was freezing my butt off, and I was working in that van, and I was
You
literally
had your
like,
red puffer jacket on.
I had my red puffer jacket on. It looked awful, and I was like, my best friends just bought this company. We're doing like 15, 20 pizzas
A night.
max a night.
Oh, mate.
They're definitely losing money on wages, and I literally was like, guys, what are you doing?
Yeah. I remember.
So, I mean, just to see it now growing, also me being a part of it was really, really cool.
Were you like worried for us when we had the pitch?
I was worried, but I was also like, your overconfidence kind of like handled my worry.
Right.
Because I was like, these guys are so confident that I'm like, I think they're all right.
Yeah.
You know, because you've gotten through, I mean, Harry also volunteers
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, for the church. So I look up to you guys. So it's like, if they say they're going to do it, all right, they can do it. But outside, I was like, I don't think I would be able to buy a business in COVID, and the business is literally people meeting up, getting a pizza, which you
It
cannot
sounds
do.
so funny. Like, it's like you weren't allowed to meet up, and the whole
That's your
income
business.
generation was people getting together, whether it was
Literally.
at an office or a wedding or a party.
Yeah.
That was what we were banking
Well,
on.
there was no weddings going.
No
like
weddings.
the wedding
you couldn't
industry.
have 30 weddings.
And if you
30
speak-
people wedding.
Yeah.
Our nan's wedding. We weren't even allowed inside the venue.
Oh
You
yeah, we
remember?
watched.
We watched it from outside the window.
Really?
Yeah.
They were in the venue. They lifted up the window of the church that they were getting married in, and we were outside, socially distanced, watching it go on. We were literally like, I can't believe this.
Yeah. So to hear that, and then go, I'm going to buy a business that literally evolves in that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that just sounds stupid to me. But obviously,
I think a lot of people thought that.
yeah.
We used to get a lot of comments like, "Oh, how's the pizza business going?" But it was like a dig. It was like, "Oh yeah, how's that like little business that you sell pizzas from?"
Yeah.
On that, like, through COVID, and COVID is still a thing, like, you know, I don't know if we will have another lockdown or whatever. If we do, that will make things interesting, but
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
We're ready for that.
yeah.
We're ready for that.
Yeah.
But
I'm
my
ready.
thing is, like, you know, people, maybe not people directly saying, because you know when people say, oh, I've made it, and F you to all the people that said I couldn't. I feel like with us, or with you guys, you haven't had direct messages or people saying you're not going to make it or whatever.
No.
I feel like it's more like covert,
Yeah.
like, oh, how's it doing?
Yeah.
You know, like
At the
it's-
beginning,
it's a bit shit, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like-
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
Some people were saying and talking to me, and I was like, in my head, I was like,
I mean,
I'm gonna do this well, and I was
Yeah.
so confident with mine and Charlie's ability. I was like, I'm gonna do it well, and also I want to inspire others that despite anything, you can also do it. Because, I mean, if there was another lockdown, it doesn't even phase me.
No.
Doesn't even phase
I
me.
mean-
It could be a week. It could be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Like that's just kind of
yeah.
you can't. For me, you can't expect to go through life and not think anything's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say one point here. Like, sure, you can prove a point to people, but at the end of the day, whether you do well, you fail, or you know, like the only person that you can really fault or say well done to is yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, is yourself. So
Uh,
it doesn't. If someone says like what like, you know, like, oh yeah, I've made it. You guys who said I didn't, blah blah blah. It's like, at the end of the day, it's you know, you can be happy with yourself, or you can be like, you know, I didn't do it, because just because someone said something shouldn't push you off from
Go.
your goal,
Yeah.
really. Like, I understand things like that do happen, but obviously just try stay focused on your own mission, and things
Yeah.
like that shouldn't. But
Yeah.
I'd like to give one story.
Okay. So sorry guys, his mic actually just cut off. So we're live.
Okay,
again.
good.
We're back.
So
The
you're going to
story.
tell a story.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, we started the business. A couple months go by. We've got the pictures going and stuff like that. We were learning, like, although we were losing money at the beginning, the reason why I was confident was because I was learning new things and new ways not to do things, ways to do things. So it was literally like an evolving, like, program in a way. And so then we were losing money, and we kept losing money actually at one point. Like, it wasn't loads, but it was like,
Just let you guys know, we were losing money.
I mean, it was just at the beginning, and it wasn't loads. It wasn't like, you know, we're going bankrupt or anything. It was just like we just weren't making as much money as we wanted to be. So I called up a few people to get there. I think Harry suggested it, or I was like, I just need to speak to someone else who's like,
Yeah.
done it. And that's a really good tip. Like, speak to people who have actually gotten products in the area that you're
And
trying
when you say
to
products, like, you mean like
achieve
products
something.
or like
Okay, so like achieved something,
right?
And in the area that you're trying to figure out, like, don't speak to an accountant about marketing. There's no point.
Yeah.
Right?
That's very valid, yeah.
But if you want to learn a bit about marketing for your business, call up a marketing agency, call up someone who does marketing. Pick their brain, just ask them questions. Like, go try do it yourself. Be like, I don't quite get this. Go ask them questions, blah, blah, blah. So I took that approach and I called up a few people. I was like, okay, you know, I know you have done business and you've done multiple businesses. What would you do if you were in my situation? Now, this was hilarious because this particular person told me,
Oh my god!
What did I didn't know. I don't know this
Oh
story.
my god! This is, yeah.
yeah, I mean, so the first person I called, they were like, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm not going to mention names. Anyway, just keep doing what you're doing. Eventually, we'll
They're gonna rat you
maybe
out.
we'll get somewhere. And then I called up another person. They were like, you need to put your marketing up. Blah 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 blah. You know, you need to change the way your marketing is, and you need to make your customers want to come back.
Yeah.
That was an idea.
Yeah.
And then I called up someone else, and they're like, to be honest, I would sell it at this point. And this was someone I actually like. You know, I appreciated their opinion because they had achieved things.
Yeah, they were successful.
Yeah,
They've
that
done
was
success a lot with startups.
Yeah.
And it was on loudspeaker as well. And I heard that. I remember we're sitting on the table, and I just hear, "Sell it,"
Yeah.
and I'm like,
And obviously that's not something I want to hear when I'm trying to figure out how to solve it. But
"What went through your mind?" Because I know what went through my mind, but what went through your mind when that person said that?
it was, what information have I given this person for them to think I should sell it?
That's interesting because my first thing I thought of was F you. That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Right.
But it fueled me more. That's the thing. I guess different things
It's
fuel people differently.
Different things.
Yeah.
Different people, different things. Like for me,
Because now I can say F you.
Yeah.
yeah,
Look at us.
yeah, which we don't need to do. But
That's what I mean. We're so different. I think it's so important as well going into business. Like, anyway, we'll talk about that another time.
yeah. So anyway, when he said that, it was the first response was, okay, like what does he know about my business that he would say this, right? And then it was then, okay, is this a valid like opinion or not? And I just decided not to take it on. I was like, okay, this person thinks that, I don't. Let me move on. And that was it. Like, sure, it might have been in the back of my head, like someone said sell it and blah blah blah, but I just analyzed the data for a minute, which was, you know, what had I told the person, and then would they think that, and then as soon as I came up with my own decision, that was it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, it was a bit of motivation. I was like,
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Because we talked about it a few times. We were working late at night, like, and then you achieve certain things, like achieve your X amount of first, like the most money you've made in 1 week, and then you can like safely say. But I saw him 2 months ago, and he drove past and he stopped, and he was saying, I'm like really pleased you guys have done well.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I remember I was getting coffee. I was in the high street, and he stopped and he said, like, well done for making it successful. Like, I hear you doing like really good. And to hear that from him, again, the first thing that came into my head was like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, we did it. Like, we did it, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of you. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But then I was like, that's really nice to hear, because at least he's not... He probably didn't mean the first time he'd said, I think you should sell it, maybe as negative as I thought he
Yeah.
was being,
Yeah.
and more from what he had observed the company and whatever marketing stuff you'd given him.
Yeah.
Like, he'd given an opinion based on the information he had.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I think he just didn't have the answer for me. And
Yeah.
so his answer was sell it, because he didn't know the answer. So,
Yeah.
look, you know, that's the thing to look for. Not everybody is
Don't
going to...
take one person's word.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
I think your own counsel is also very important.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, so So
I don't know if I went off topic there, but
no, you were telling a story,
yeah.
and then
Oh, yeah,
you
we
were
got
asking
to
questions. You said a good tip was call people, or
Yeah.
get advice, get tips, and then that's where we got to.
Yeah, I would say get tips. I mean, I personally haven't been one to like communicate a lot with people. I personally feel that way. Like yeah, go speak to people and stuff like that. But if there's anyone who actually has doesn't feel comfortable, just going up and asking someone a question, you can very easily go onto the internet. Other people would have asked these questions, and you can read up on it as well. So there's many ways to do it. If your immediate response to that was like, oh, I don't like talking to people, then don't let that be your stop, because there's other ways that you can get that information.
Okay, cool. And then was that the end of the story?
Yeah.
All right, good story. No, that's good. I think a lot of people go into something, whether it's a business or whatever, and don't pick other people's brain or don't do their own research, and they just go into it thinking it's a great idea. They run into a problem and they have no idea, how to solve it.
Yeah, totally. Like, if you do have a great idea, there's no reason you can't do it. Just if you don't have, either decide that you're going to go through the pain to get the correct information to be able to put it into the real world, or bring someone in. Like, it's really, really good to have somebody who knows a bit about what they're, having another person you guys can work together.
And that's what I wanted to speak about next, is the differences between Harry and you. Because I know I'm a lot like Harry.
Right.
Where it's like, all right, stop thinking.
Yeah.
Right. Stop planning. Stop your Excel spreadsheets. Let's just get on the phone and let's sell some things, right?
Yeah.
Now, I want to know why that works really good, like with you guys with the team.
You answer that.
Yeah, I think it works really well because we bounce off each other very well. Like, sure, I can overthink something because I want to get the mathematical equation of X, Y, and Z equals blah, right? And sometimes you don't know the blah because you haven't put in, you haven't asked the right questions to be able to get the result. And sometimes you have to go through the experience to know what it is. And so Harry's very good at just pushing me, like Charlie, let's just go and do it. Like stop talking about it, right?
Yeah.
But there's a balance though.
Because I think it's good to have someone that's pushing, let's just do it and learn on the way. Yeah. But also there does need to be some sort of planning before anything.
Yeah.
So okay, like you said, people said you have to fail to learn. Yeah. Well, failing does, you can learn from failing. Yeah. But like you said before, which I really liked, was you can predict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to constantly hit up into things to then not have it happen again.
Yeah.
Like, if you see something's coming, good. Let's put a handling there. So then when it does come, it doesn't, a problem.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, someone out there has gone through those mistakes themselves and have found the correct answers. And so either you can go solo, I'm going to do it myself, blah, blah, blah. But you're just going to go through all those failures and come up with your own solutions. Whereas if you want to get there quicker, look around yourself, look at your friends, look at people who have done that. And that's like a bit of like an encyclopedia for you to get the answers much quicker without having to go through all the failures. So predict, but also go forward. Like, obviously, you if you are going to have a business, you can't just run straight forward and do everything yourself without having somebody who knows how to pick up the things that you're probably chucking behind you. Because if you have a business that's not creating any profit, what's the point?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So basically, it works well for you guys because...
Yeah, I think, to comment on that, it's this doesn't mean you now go into business with your siblings
Yeah.
or a family member or a friend until you've observed each other and how you guys work. Yeah, because obviously we are brothers.
But you've done everything together.
So that's what I was about to say. Like, you and I as a dynamic and as a duo is probably a duo that I've never probably seen.
No.
Ever.
No.
I think the closest... No, I actually, I don't know, because we've done everything together. So we have the same friends. We grew up, same friends. Our mum and dad were very good at like bringing us together.
Yeah.
But the first...
I mean, we did fight a
13,
lot.
that's what I'm about to say. The first 13 years of
I
our
remember
life,
that.
right? Well, I say first 13, I don't know how, whatever. But like there was many periods before we'd properly hit teenage years, really. I was teenager actually, and you weren't. That we would get into full-on fights.
Well, I can vouch for that. I'll tell you a story.
I know what he's gonna take.
So actually, me and Charlie, we're more of like the same age than me and Harry. So when we were much younger, like literally, me and you started being friends probably at like 2-3 years old.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, your family was like the first family when we moved to East Grinstead that kind of got involved with us. Yeah.
So anyway, one day I think we must have been 7 or 8.
Yeah.
One day, I'm at your house, and me and Charlie are on in the lounge on the floor, and we're building this literally amazing Lego house, right?
Yeah, it was the best.
Like when I say like amazing, it's like you look in the roof and there's like a TV, there's a sofa, there's like
Wasn't there
a
a
bar,
pool?
Yeah,
there's like a pool,
There was an outdoor
garage,
shower.
it was
that's
like
right.
ultimate, right? And we were so proud. And I think we were like a few Lego pieces away from finishing it, and we're super happy. And then Harry pops his head in and he doesn't like that, right?
Yeah. I got very jealous.
Obviously he wasn't happy, he felt a bit left out, and he literally came across and went, oh, smashed everything to pieces.
Yeah.
And like, it's so funny, you've changed so much. Like when you were that age, I think I was
Very
8 and you were maybe 6 or 7.
He's get very angry.
The rage that came
So
within
much rage.
Charlie was like you look like you're about to kill someone.
Yeah, bro, you were very
But
angry.
anyway,
I know I was annoying, but you were angry.
yeah, but the fights that they used to have wasn't just like go away. It was like fist fights. And one time, so when Harry did that, Charlie got up, went to swing at Harry. I got in the middle of it. I got whacked in the face. Harry then goes to swing. I get whacked again. And when I was a kid, I was like a massive boy, right? I was pretty fat. And I'm literally this fat kid in the middle just getting like punched and kicked. And I'm like, guys, I'm like not the target here.
Oh my God.
But it's so funny. So yeah, like you guys, I can vouch that you did fight a lot when you were kids.
And then I think we kind of like, our parents were very good at bring us out of that.
But it's funny, you fought a lot, but Harry, you were always so protective of Charlie.
Oh yeah.
At school, like even when me and Charlie would fight football, like Harry would come and like literally pin me against the wall.
Yeah.
That confused me because at home he can beat me up, but then as soon as someone else beats me up, he's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then he like starts beating them up. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, 1 minute.
I used to even now.
I think he just wanted to beat anyone up.
No, like. Not a bully.
Maybe.
I remember a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. No. So yeah, I think Anyway, blah blah blah. I'm very protective of my brother. I'm very protective of my friends, my family. Everyone will know that's like my thing about me. I'm very emotionally attached to people. I care a lot about people, and I get very angry if someone's upset and something's not been handled or whatever. But I think what's then happened is over the years, I think thanks to our mum and dad, who I think they were very good at bringing us back after the fights.
Yeah.
And our mum was very good, so they get us to realize like the responsibility is something that was shared, and it wasn't that person's fault or that person's fault. It was like a mutual responsibility, and we had a lot of like that discipline.
Yeah.
And then I think it was at,
Yeah, like my mum used to always be like, "Well, what did you do wrong?" I was like,
Nothing.
I just
I'm
got punched in the
angry.
face, mum.
"Right now, Harry hit me in the face. What do you mean?"
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, but anyway, I think what happened is over time we kind of got out of that thanks to our parents.
yeah,
And we managed to get out of that immaturity that we're against each other. Like, if you also think about, there's a lot of people out there, even now, they wrong target people. They're not angry actually at those people. They've got other things going on, but they can sometimes let it out at someone who's got nothing to do with their own issues.
yeah.
Totally.
And I think that's what happened with us. I think we got out of that. And then we both realized as we were working different jobs, what different things we were good at.
Good at, yeah.
Like, I'm a very good salesperson and I have 5 years to 6 years of sales.
I think you probably taught me to sell.
Yeah. Yeah, when I brought you on that fuel fixer.
Yeah, and I was very appreciative of that because communication was probably one of my biggest like back offs at one point. So I think it's, you know, like in terms of being like the title of the podcast, Misunderstood, like it's okay to have two complete different personalities.
Yeah.
And not think that you have to be me or you have to be him or you have to be whoever to do something. Because
Be yourself.
You be yourself, and then get so good at that you know what you're good at, you know what you're bad at, and
to
then
get someone else who's the opposite.
get someone else who's the opposite.
Yeah.
Or go figure out how to solve your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of both.
Bit of both. Keep it going.
I think if you find the right people to jump on board who are the opposite and you work on yourselves at those other things, that's a win-win.
Yeah.
So I think I've got 2 more points.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 point is, so do you think that is the thing for you that you feel that is the most misunderstood in business or in life, where people think they have to be someone else to do something good? Or what do you think is the most misunderstood thing in society or in business?
In business, yeah. I don't know how much I can speak on that apart from my own experience with that. So in terms of being misunderstood, I think the idea of how to make money is misunderstood.
That's not bad.
What?
Rory's getting a phone call
Oh yeah.
in his sales
By the way,
office.
sorry guys, if you hear phones ringing, it is phones ringing. We're actually in a friend's sales office.
Yeah.
And what time is
I
it?
just like to say it's 7:15 on a
Yeah.
Sunday.
On a Sunday, and
and
he's
it's
still
getting
getting sales.
louder.
That's money. That's a money call
That's
over
money.
there.
So
Rory, do you need some help on sales on the Sunday? Do you want me to arrange something? Like,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway. So
I mean, it's getting louder.
it's fine. They just know that's money. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, there's definitely misunderstandings, and I think you just gotta accept that everything you hear doesn't necessarily need to be the way to do something. There's always new ways, and you can be that person. So don't feel like the way that however you are. Because like when I was a kid, I didn't really want to, you know, like go out of my way to socialize with people.
You reckon you were an introvert?
I definitely considered myself an introvert.
But it's funny, like with your close friends, you weren't.
No.
But to expand that or to go meet new people, you were a bit held back. Or
Totally. Like the idea of like speaking to a girl, like was
that's so funny because it was like 2 different sides of the spectrums.
yeah.
Like, Harry loved it.
Harry loved it.
Sorry for
no.
exposing you. But Charlie, obviously you've got a very successful relationship now.
Yeah.
When was your first girlfriend? Was how long ago?
I think I was 17.
17. So
17.
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, I had my brother who was like who was very good at talking to girls or very good at just talking to people, but you were in loads of relationships.
What is this? Like expose Harry Sunday? Like,
no,
what
but
is
like,
this?
That's what happened. Like
No,
you were in
true,
lots
it
of
is.
relationships, right? And I was in none till I was 17. So going through all that period, and
just like to clarify, I wasn't like a gigolo or whatever they
No,
call them.
you went
I
around
had
the
a-
block.
I had a-
Yeah, you were.
You went around the block.
Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
fine. You know?
yeah. You
It's
definitely.
alright.
There was certain nights you went at home.
I just
no
like
one
saying
knew
we're
where
in
you
a
were.
very, very good relationship now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been together for over 2
You don't have to
years.
justify it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need to know what he's going to think. Who's this
Just
horse?
send your girlfriend a message afterwards, be like, "Don't watch the podcast."
Literally.
The first episode, I'm sorry, you
Just
can't watch
skip.
that one.
Just
Yeah.
skip.
Skip, watch up until halfway and then
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah, so when I was growing up and I saw Harry and I, having a lot of relationships and I didn't want a relationship, I thought that was weird. Like, I genuinely felt like something was like
You were
wrong.
going to swing the other way.
No, but I genuinely not anything. Not that
Which is fine.
Which is fine. But yeah. So I was like, is there something wrong here? Like, why don't I necessarily want to have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
That was like the majority of my life because loads of people were like, getting together. My thought process, right, whether this is retarded or not, was that I didn't know what I wanted in life. Like, I didn't know what job I was going to have. I didn't know where I was going to be.
Well,
So,
how old were you?
this was between 13 to 16.
So 13, 16.
I wasn't thinking about that.
What the hell?
Yeah,
I was
you-
getting
you-
kill streaks on Call of
Yeah.
Duty.
Anyway, obviously you don't need to work everything out by then. But my
You
thought...
reckon it helped though?
No, just my thought was like, why would I have a girlfriend to share a part of my life with when I have no idea where my life is? Like, I don't know where I'm going in life, what job I want, what da-da-da-da-da. If I bring on a girlfriend, it's just my mind is just gonna be like filled with loads of more questions. Like, well, if I do get a job in like America randomly, that can't work. So like, this is all going in my
I
head.
feel like some people would argue that that's the age where you are learning and experiencing things, and that you wouldn't need to have those things figured out because you're not going to get married between the ages of 13
Yeah.
or 16.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think we all watch lots of Gary Vee, but he also says, like, look, even if you're like 25 years old or whatever, you don't need to. Oh, someone's coming in the shot. That's fine.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Welcome to the Misunderstood podcast.
Like, if you're 25, you still don't need to have everything figured out. Like, you are learning on the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you did quite a bit, put a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
From 13, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
From a young.
So we cut because someone wanted a vacuum in the
Next door.
next
That's
door.
fine. That's handled.
So that's handled now. No, so what I was saying was, I think people put a lot of pressure on themselves where they have to have everything figured out. But even you guys know, like, you're still learning, growing the business,
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, you put a lot of pressure on yourself when you're 13 and whatever. So I think...
Yeah. I mean, to add to that, like, you don't need to be overthinking everything. It was just, and like, I still haven't worked out my entire life. I don't worry. I don't have like this thing at home. It's like XYZ equals billion, right? So, so I'm still learning. But like,
You don't have that?
no,
There's no cheat code.
no. There's
What
no
about
cheat
these?
code.
What's your opinion on these? Like,
Let me just finish here. So
I've got something very
my,
controversial.
My
I wanna
point
bring
on
up.
that was
Yeah.
I just personally didn't want to bring someone else into it who. Whatever the reasons why, I just didn't want to bring someone else into it who then I at some point might upset because I have no idea what I'm doing. I might just go to America. Anyway,
I get your reason.
short story is,
Short story is that doesn't apply to everyone.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't
You
matter.
got a relationship at 17.
That's how I felt. So
It's all individual.
Harry
anyway.
didn't feel that way. We're at the same point in life. So
There
Whatever.
you go. Have
There
some
you
of that.
go.
Kind of, not really. You're 20, but yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I think Harry wanted to mention something, and I know
What we're
what
talking
he's going
about.
to mention.
Yeah, like, so as we're talking about Gary Vee, right, one of the main things he kind of talks about is that kind of pressure, right? Where there's the pressure of feeling like you have to make it at a young age, right? There's a lot of pressure, like there's young people thinking I should be a millionaire by now. Like, I feel like there's also that kind of ideal in social media where everyone's showing like they have
all the luxury
and all the money and everything, and everyone apparently makes 4, 5, 6, 7 figures a month. You know, you go into Clubhouse and
4,
the way
5,
they talk,
7, 6.
no one knows. They're like, I'm expected to make about 4, 5, 6 figures this month.
Well,
it's
that's
like
a lot of
it's
different
£1,000,
numbers.
10,000, 100,000. Like, there's a
Yeah.
massive difference.
Yeah.
But I think people run into it and they're like, 10 people have said they're gonna make 4, 5, 6 figures this month.
4, 5,
and-
6, 7, 8 figures.
And I'm working for £10 an hour. But like, for me, like there should be like a certain degree of like hard work. But what do you feel as you're 20
Yeah.
should be the right approach? Because I'm 23, so in other people's mind, you know, in the world, unfortunately, there's like this false information where it's like the older you are, either the better or more experienced or the better of the person's going to be. And on one side, I get it because it's like they've lived and seen a certain amount. But on the flip side, it's like nearly the opposite. Because sometimes they're so much older that they're fixed on certain ideas that obviously
From
haven't
the
worked
past, yeah.
because they're at where they're at. So
Yeah.
as a 20-year-old, what would your advice be for that?
I would say,
Like, should people be working 9 to 5 between the ages of 15
yeah.
to whatever? Should they be working 9 to 5, or should they be not working 9 to 5 and not working and figuring out a way to be financially free, or, you know,
Yeah.
big bob pyramid
Yeah.
schemes? Like,
Anyway, okay, I get your question.
because I could get more into it, but I'll get angry.
Yeah, So I would say
Not angry, but
there's no fixed thing. I mean, what I would say is that the sooner you can get into more, start creating more things in life, the sooner you're going to learn how best you can live your life. And so, if you are, you know, going to university because you want to be a lawyer, then obviously you're not going to have a 9 to 5 because that's when you have to study. But but just keep your, you know.
But what if they're like 19 years old, they finish college? Should they be working 9 to 5? They should be figuring out an e-commerce.
What do you mean figuring out? Are they like at school at this point?
No, they're not at school anymore.
Oh,
They're back. They're
As soon as
finished
it's-
education.
right. Then
Like, they're
just-
out of education. Some friends are doing pyramid schemes. Some friends are working 9 to 5. Some don't work.
Some friends are, you know,
Doing
promoting
nothing.
New Bitcoin.
Cryptocurrencies, hype coins, stocks, buy, sell. What should is this a thing they should be doing, or like what should their attitude be?
Yeah. Okay. What
What gave you the mindset to be working for
Okay, let him
free?
answer that.
Yeah. Can I answer now?
Yeah, sorry.
I think the
Sorry about
viewers
that.
get
I get a bit excited.
Yeah.
The viewers get the question. Okay, so obviously there's. I don't know how to directly answer that question. What should your attitude be? It should be like, how can I do something to improve my chances of, you know, like having a good life and learning and helping people along the way.
And what if they just want to make money?
Unfortunately, the way money works, like, money is not the end product. So money is not the end result of like if you just want to make money, I'm sure you can make money, but like money is, at the end of the day, it is a tool. So what's going to drive you to keep going when things are failing because you're just trying to make money? Or what's going to make you not start selling something that's illegal? Because you could be a drug dealer and make lots of money. So at the end of the day, the actual money is just a way of
It's energy, isn't it?
Yeah,
To do other things.
to do other things, to go experience things, to build a bigger company to help people to. So as long as you're trying to figure it out from a point of view of like, okay, how can I improve myself? How can I help other people? Then the process is going to be a good process.
But how did you learn that?
Like I think what Harry's trying to ask is like, you have people that don't want to work 9 to 5. They're
Right.
scared of it. And they think they can come up with this some sort of other scheme or
Something
whatever, and will actively promote don't work 9 to 5. It's a waste of time. Blah blah.
Don't
blah.
work for someone else. Like that idea, like don't work for someone else.
Yeah, like you should always be your own boss. For me, like I have my own viewpoints in it, and I, will probably say it.
Yeah.
But
for
like you, what's your point of view?
Don't be your own boss is probably one of the worst terms you can come up with, because
No, be your own boss is the term.
be your own boss.
Yeah, like hashtag
Be your own boss. That again doesn't work. If you are a boss and if you're a leader, you're serving the people who work for you. If you are the boss, like if you are in charge, you aren't actually like just in charge
That's
of
a good
yourself.
point. Yeah.
Your job as the boss is to serve the employees below you and to serve your customers. Like that's really your role as a leader. You're there to serve others, and that would be your employees and your customers. So, and if you're just an employee, you're there to serve your boss and your customers. Like, so there's never gonna be a time where if you're trying to say be your own boss, so then people don't tell you what to do. It's just it's
Not
like
gonna-
it's
can't-
weird. Yeah, it's
Can't
not.
work.
Yeah, it's not the right mentality, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like, not working 9 to 5, it's like you said when you had the sales job, when you worked in the pizza van, like when it wasn't yours, when you were 14, like you learn all this stuff and now you own that company.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, for me, I feel, say a 16, 17-year-old, they finish school, they don't go to college or uni, and they don't want to work any 9 to 5, and they are trying to like answer like surveys for money or, get into crypto and all this stuff. It's like, for me, I feel like if you want to be successful, want to have that company, you have to know how day-to-day life works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I back that. Like working for someone else,
Yeah.
I think is maybe one of the most important, like it's an education. Like if you're going in the mindset just make money, but if you go into a business where you're like, I have the potential to actually move up in position, learn the structure of like how a business works, the lines of a business, who's in control of what. In a few years' time, you'll be well more equipped.
Well, a good example
starting
is
a
like
business.
for me working with for you guys. It's like, I've grown with the company.
Yeah.
I went from doing the pictures of in the pizza van, knowing okay that's how it works, freezing my tits off, excuse my French, to then doing sales, and it's like every week a new problem comes, and then we handle it, and then a policy gets put in. So it's like we're constantly building. And it's like, I know for a fact that when I'm going to start a company of myself or another company with you guys, I'm going to have all that experience. Like, good, I know how to get the sale. I know the best sales system to use, what to say to the customer, all these things where if I never did that before and I wanted to start a pizza van company, how am I going to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's why when Gary Vee talks about patience.
Yeah, I think it is important.
It's important. Like if you're coming from nowhere, and
work.
Yeah, just work. Like if you're coming from,
Get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
Do something that keeps the drive there.
Yeah, like I think Gary Vee, he was just doing videos all the day and like all day long, and no one's watching, right? He probably learned a ton, and now he can control $1 billion companies,
and he can predict. Like he could literally predict futures on like what would happen with these companies.
I mean,
he's done it. Like
what he said in 2008. He said the web is going to be the biggest thing that's going to blow up all businesses. And he said loads of news people said no, that's not.
Yeah, I mean, and that was.
But that's through experience.
Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk predicted that in 2001. It was the start of the internet, and he just jumped on it and started. So you know, he just took it from the viewpoint of I want to learn how this works because I know it's going to change the way people live one day. So he just jumped in, not for the money, learned it, did a few things, and wanted to change. Or, you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but if you have a strong reason behind it, like how can I help people with this? How can I grow myself? There's 1,000,001 ways to make money. So getting the money or needing the money, everyone needs money. So those things aren't, you know, what's going to drive you.
Do you feel like having worked for someone else since you were 14 helped you run it?
Yeah, I mean, but
£1 million.
But then again, like when I was 12 years old, I was making money by myself.
What were you doing?
I was buying.
I know what he was doing, but it would be good for you guys to know.
I was buying and selling video games on Facebook, and I was going to car boot sales and buying and selling things. And I was 12 or 13, and I only did that because I wanted a video game, and I couldn't afford it. Right? So it's everyday problems. Like I had a problem. I needed this video game. It cost £50. My parents said no way, and I wasn't thinking I'm gonna go get a job. I was just like. I want this game, so how do I do it? And so then I don't know. I can't see a 12-year-old kid doing this now, but I'm sure there's like geniuses out there. Anyway, so
some probably have.
Yeah, I'm sure, but yeah. So I was like 12 years old, and I was just going on Facebook Marketplace, looking at, you know, I knew the game cost £50, so I was looking for games that were cheaper. I was like, okay, cool. I can buy the game at a little bit less of a price if I get it from someone who owned it before. And then I was like, hold on, why don't I just start buying and selling these things? So I think the first thing I ever did is I got I worked it out, was like, Dad, and I said, Dad, can I borrow like 20 quid? Because I'm going to buy this and sell it for blah. I did that. It gave me confidence that I could do that. And I kept doing it until I had the 50 quid.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. See, I think
I would just
don't be scared of problems.
Yeah.
The more problems you can solve, the more you're going to learn and be able to achieve more in life. Really,
good.
That's what I think.
That's
like
good kind of.
All right, I think the one thing I wanted to end on is ask you a question. Where do you go from here? Meaning, you've got your £1 million company.
20 years
We're
old.
obviously going to keep growing.
Yeah.
What other things do you want to do? Are you just going to be in the catering industry? What do you want to do?
So my maybe 2-year plan that I can see for myself right now is I'll obviously continue my volunteering at the church. That will definitely not stop. I love that. With my business, I want to keep growing it at least 100% per year.
So doubling every year.
Yeah, doubling every year. I mean, at the beginning, I want it to be more than doubling, because when things become really when things get, I can just see as we get bigger and bigger, it's going to be harder to keep doubling.
Sure.
So for me to maintain a doubling every year, I want to like triple at the beginning, right? And then anyway, so I think we'll maybe triple this year, and then I want to double next year. So I think in 2 years maybe we can do a regroup. I hope it's worth about 5 million, something like that.
That'll be cool. In 2 years' time, we'll do this again.
Do this again.
We'll be on our 300th episode, I think, by then.
Yeah.
Okay, we can quote that.
It's actually be the 100th.
Peter, save this clip.
Yeah,
and then replay it.
I mean, if we're doing one a week.
You do know in 2 years that'll be one every other day.
So Charlie runs the finances and maths of the business.
Yeah. Anyway, so ignore that, and we'll do a lot.
Yeah.
And then what was I saying? What was your question?
So where do you go from here?
Oh yeah. So hopefully it's worth about 5 million in 2 years. So keep growing the company I have, and I'd like to get into property.
Nice.
Because I see a lot of potential in property. And then I'll happily start another businher. Maybe even start 2. It just depends really. But I would like to, I'd love to
stick to the 40 hours of volunteering.
Definitely.
Nice.
Definitely.
I think it pushes you guys more, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And that's why if anyone's out there who has a 9 to 5, that's great. That's your
you're learning
that's
in the day.
You've got a head start to us.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you
I
can
mean, technically-
push money to the side and still start another business.
Yeah, or there's just your foundation.
Yeah.
You use that as your, if you're much older, you're 30, 40 years old, that's just paying for all your expenses so that you don't need to worry about your kids and your wife and stuff like that. And then just push yourself a little bit more for weekends, evenings, start something, start learning. You'll be surprised with your own abilities. And once you figure it out for yourself, that's really important. Figure out for yourself, you will improve your own confidence to do more.
Love that. Well, that was
good.
That was good.
Thank you. I learned a lot, actually, even though you...
Yeah, I did. I mean, obviously, we've known each other for pretty much forever, but I don't think we ever sit down and talk about every aspect of
not for
business
that
or
long.
whatever.
But we do it like over dinner, but it would be like 10 minutes, quickly eat the food, get back to work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's good. I like doing this. There'll be an episode released every Sunday.
Yeah.
And it'll be released in the afternoon, so that no matter what you guys are doing, it's nice and relaxed. You can, have a coffee with us, listen to us, learn.
And I want to mention,
Yeah.
if there's anyone that you guys want to learn about,
Who would you suggest for people to learn from? Oh, I mean, I know the answer, but
what do you
who
mean?
would you suggest someone to also learn from?
I mean, there's lots of. I don't actually have the answer for that.
Oh, I was going to say Elon Musk.
Oh, personally, I love watching Elon Musk.
Yeah, I was going to say all you do is watch Elon Musk.
Yeah. He doesn't give me inspiration.
Really?
No, I just like the way his brain, I just like the way he problem solves, because
That's probably why he spends so long thinking.
Yeah.
Elon Musk takes a long time thinking.
Yeah, he thinks a lot.
Because he just calculates. He's like, hang on.
That
That
was
right, cool.
Yeah, I mean, but I wouldn't tell everyone to learn from
Right.
him. What I was going to say is, if there's anyone you want to bring on or you'd like to learn from, we're going to be we're going to be interviewing people who we generally want to learn from.
Yeah.
Right?
So we'll be learning with
we'll
you.
be asking
Yeah.
them those questions and stuff.
So I think also, let us know any people that you want to see interviewed. We're brand new. It's probably going to get about 12 views. So don't expect Bill Gates to come next week. But I think
we should have a good guest lined up next week.
we already do have some guests.
But comment below. This is available on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. We have our Instagram account called Misunderstood.
Yeah.
It was a bit annoying. It's miss and then underscore understood. Someone took the name and they're not using the account.
Okay.
So I messaged them and I was like, hey, you have literally 0 posts and you opened it 3 years ago. Give me the account.
I hate
Anyway, we'll figure that bit out. But yeah, definitely share with other people. If there was some things you wanted to learn more, I'm sure we'll eventually circle back in a month's time. And after we brought on some guests, do catch up.
Yeah, and I also think DM us on Instagram if you had any questions that
Were not answered.
We did go over because obviously Charlie's a host.
Yeah.
So he always has access to the Instagram. You can answer questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this has been good. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
And we will catch you on the next episode next Sunday. Enjoy it.
Peace
Like
out.
it, share, subscribe. You know the drill. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye.